Hey everyone, it's King Kong's shorter, hairier cousin here, with another in my recent series of Apex Arena throwback videos, throwback to earlier this season. I've basically come to the point in the season where I'm now going back through my replay list and pulling out interesting matches that I thought you guys might find enjoyable. So for this one, we've got a Player 1 matchup versus lolidevastator as Player 2. And lolidevastator has always been a really good PvPer, so as soon as I saw the name come up after pick and ban, obviously this is a replay so we can see who it is now, but when I saw that it was lolidevastator, I was feeling a little bit devastated myself, despite definitely not being a loli. Anyway, this is a very interesting box, and I have a feeling he's probably changed it up over the course of the season because this seems like a just for fun box. It's a full Meteor box for the most part. Lots of things in here that you don't commonly see, but can be scary when taken in the right situation. We got a Jugler here, of course. Not uncommon in AoE rush boxes, and my first thought here was that there's definitely lots of ways he could AoE me here. We got Suzette as well, Wandering Duelist, Elaine, Claret, Julian, Himiko, Original Zerida, and Narm. So it's a very interesting box. And I think just to cut off the AoE line, I want to be able to go with Rosenseal myself. Fortunately, he does give me that line by banning the AO. And I kind of immediately clock this as a Meteor box, so I'm banning out one of those Meteor buffers to start. Doubt he's going to first pick the Zerida, so I'll ban her later. He first picks Lost Him instead. I ban out a couple of the more scary assassins first before I get to Zerida, because with Rosen I'm feeling okay against AoE, so I'd rather him not have as many units that I think will commonly be able to come in and kill the units that I'm going to be picking to hide behind my tank. But I'm not forced into a tank pick yet, so I'm going to go with Leon first. He gives me pretty good command of range in case I need to charge in and kill someone. And there goes that Cherie and the Zerida pick. So I think I make a mistake here by continuing on with DPS. Jugler could have been a good ban here because it would mean he has no tank. That makes things a bit easier for Leon, who would be able to go in and pick whoever he wants rather than having to watch who Jugler is looking after. So I grab my tank at this point, Freya, who can buff D-Heart. And sure enough, he does go for the Jugler now, so that's just going to make things a little more complicated for myself. And again, these bans are a little suspicious. I probably could have gone with a Wandering Duelist ban there instead, just because she's a pretty dangerous unit. And, well, especially the Himiko, probably not too worried about her with the Rosen, but I guess she could have caused some problems. Okay, so I've got two tanks. This is mainly to prevent Jugler from locking down my tank and then killing the rest of my team. For when that eventually happens, if you're up against Jugler, that's certainly going to be a consideration. It means my only real DPS is the Leon and the D-Heart. D-Heart is able to assassinate around the Jugler, although assassinating the Werner might be a tricky proposition. I'm not sure how bulky this duels is, actually. Leon can probably kill whatever he wants, as long as it's not Juglered. So to start, I'm just going to get set up here. I know lolidevastator is going to be coming in on me, well, zoning me with the first turn. Jugler, once he gets set up, can pretty much reach with a splash. Lost Him can pretty much reach with his hook. Narm can pretty much reach anyway. And even though I banned out the Meteor buffers, Jugler just brought his own buff, and that covers a couple people, so that's pretty good. Alright, Werner running up here very aggressively into position, away from his team and on a forest. I don't think that was meant to look like it was defensive stance. To me, that looked like getting into position to kill whoever he wants with offensive stance, so I made the call and went in with Leon. I was successfully able to kill through those Lancer troops. Get a half-decent scramble here. Okay, one of the things I could have done there is run back. Right, Leon could have run back. But the problem is, I'm still out of guard range here, and still able to be reached by a couple units. So I figured, instead of doing that, I might as well try to get a decent scramble and then hope that I could follow up with D-Heart. Well, I guess D-Heart can reach pretty much anyone now anyway. So this scramble is a pretty poorly thought out or misguided gambit. I think my thought process was really that even if I ran Leon back, there was no real way to save his life, so I might as well get some damage in. All that does, though, really is give lolidevastator a much easier opening to be able to kill him from safety with his Lostum. Yeah, and Lostum runs back to try to stay out of this D-Heart range. So again, I make kind of an interesting decision here. Rather than trying to stun the Lostum, I run back and stun the Jugler. I guess the Lostum doesn't have his hook or anything. He does have a DPS skill still up. But I didn't want to end in range of this duels, because she could have just come down and killed me if I had gone here. So it's a little bit safer. I don't know how much it helps me in the long run, though, like stunning the Jugler doesn't really do anything. I also forgot she had that act again. So if my goal was to keep him safe from duels, epic fail. Yeah, I totally forgot she had an act again. This is one of those situations where uncommon units are definitely beneficial in the sense that players are less familiar with them. I think a lot of the actual good PvP players, which is a pool of players that doesn't necessarily include me, are a bit more familiar with Duels' kit now. So at this point, I'm fighting an uphill battle. I do have 2 tanks, and I do have Rosen as a very competent healer. So I'm staying in the match for now. I basically want to see if there's any way for me to chip away at his units and slowly kill them while staying alive. Unfortunately for me, this Wandering Duelist is immune to fixed damage, so the Freya is really not a threat for her at all. And I'm basically just going to try to get into the mid, keep my tanks alive with Rosenseal, keep Rosenseal alive from this Lostum guard ignoring. And then either catch up in damage or slowly kill off all his units. Unfortunately, did not really have a great chance or a great opportunity to get that Freya healed back up after that comboage on the last turn, and Lostum is able to easily kill her. See, Landius is locked down here by Jugler. So my only hope now is just pushing out damage and staying alive with these 2 units. Jugler is guarding, which means the first thing I have to do is get through him. But my Rosenseal and my Landius don't push a lot of damage. So you can see this Jugler healing himself back up, the werewolves healing themselves back up as well. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle just to get through that wall. 58%. Just put a little tap on this duelist here. And she actually does kill her first life into my Landius. So Landius, on his own, able to finish her off. Alright. The tides are kind of evening up a little bit. lolidevastator still has this assassin. Oh, but Rosenseal survives, barely survives with 8% HP. So now I know that even at melee, Lostum's guard ignoring skill can't fully kill my Rosenseal as long as she's full. So my next goal is going to be to get Rosenseal healed back up ASAP. The main threats are going to be Lostum Guard Ignore and when Jugler's AoE lockdown comes back. And actually, that takes 4 more turns, so he will have it back before the end of the battle. Something I'm going to have to watch out for. Okay, Landius a little bit ahead of Jugler on damage that time. So maybe I can catch up on damage dealt as well. There's still hope, as long as I make sure I don't get fogged out here. Okay, Lostum opens up a spot for me. That's not too bad. He already knows I'm not using Landius's unique equipment, so he doesn't have to worry about losing damage by going far away from me, but it does give me a little easier access to this window here. If Lostum had attacked from there, then Landius wouldn't have been able to get back into the mid. So this turn we're really just going to shuffle for mid. Rosenseal attacking just in a desperate attempt to get some more damage on the board. But things are looking pretty even here. I'm really hopeful that this Lostum is not going to be able to kill my Rosen again. Okay, and he can't. She survives a bit more easily this time. So his only hope is going to be to win on damage or get through my Landius. My only hope is going to be to catch up on damage or get through his Jugler with enough time left on the clock to kill Lostum. And we can see this Jugler barely hanging on with like 2 and 3% HP. Couple times already. But I think we got him here now. We've gradually gotten him down low enough. Yes, finally Landius finishes him off. Lolidevastator, though, going to open up the damage advantage a lot more with Lostum's attack. So I don't think I'm going to be catching up with 40,000 more damage dealt. Oh yeah, this is turn 12. I paused it to check the turns, but we're on turn 12. I'm definitely not catching up 40,000 damage this turn, so I essentially need that Lostum to die this turn. Landius, can you solo the Lostum? No, you can just over half him, and the Rosenseal just not able to finish the job. Lostum survives, 13% HP, and Lolidevastator takes a well-deserved win. To be perfectly honest, I didn't deserve to win that one, so if Landius with Rosen were able to hang on long enough to sweep those units and finish them off, that would have felt kind of dirty. That match, though, did make me feel kind of good about my Landius, so I didn't have tons of confidence with this Landius build going into this match. But Landius is still in my box now, and I still do like using him. The thing about tanks is you basically need to pick the right tank for your team and your opponent's team. So if Landius buffs some units, Landius is a decent tank. Anyway, thank you for that match, Lolidevastator. That was an exciting one. And haven't run into you anymore after this in the season, but I hope your season is going well. Alright, that's going to be it for this one. I will catch you in the next Apex Rewind video. Thanks, everyone.